Hey guys, welcome back to Orwell Ignorance is Strength. My name is Soak and I'll be your Orwell agent for the next half hour or so. Let's continue where we left off. We're trying to find a narrative to counter the fact that Raban Vhart's family has always been loyal to him and will remain. We've found some bits and pieces. We found that Illya is planning to move away from his brother to Befhurst, wherever that is, and also that Karen may not have married Raban for love, but to protect him and Illya from the refugee camp. But we need more detail, we need more juicy bits of gossip before we can start posting that out to Blabber, which is the game's equivalent of Twitter. I found this last time that Karen is in love with Raban Vhart. There is a conflict. If I can find this conflict, I'm sure that'll boost our narrative. Unfortunately, I don't know where it is. I'm running out of things to drag over to the profiler. So we need to just keep looking, find what I need. I think I found something about Uncle Simos. I don't quite know anything about it, but I'm running out of options here, so I'm just going to chuck that in. It's under Illya. There we go. Maybe we'll get a related document. Nope, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Great. What am I going to find? Where will I find it? Cassandra, that's the woman in that photo. I don't think there's anything to do with her there. But you see, I've got no chunks left, really. Oops, if I just go back to here. I've just got 3 things under Karen that I could drag, which is that I love you part. I've got Raban's psychological profile. Let's just throw in that he became happier. Oops. Under Raban. Summer 2012. That was a good time in most people's lives. Mine, especially. Raban got better all of a sudden. Something important must have happened at that time. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that is. He was initially very unresponsive. I feel like it's a waste of time. Oh, there we go. Finally, a related document. Considering the trauma he endured when his school got bombed, this comes as no surprise. You think? Alright, there we go. What does this lead to? Article discussion arrival. An old board post. Illya. Ha! I knew you liked our therapist. You know, I also look forward to those sessions with Karen every week. Lucky you, the way she talks about you. She seems to be fancying you. Oh, she always treats me like a child. Illya, stop it. Our situation in this camp is terrible, and we are being treated like animals. Yet all you can talk about is your dumb crush on a therapist. Karen fancies me. She doesn't like me one bit. She doesn't like you one bit. It's her job to be nice, and she gets paid for it. So snap out of your daydreams finally, will you? Do you realize we have no way to get out of this shithole and live a normal life anytime soon? We might rot here for years. We can't go back to Prava. But I also cannot stand this godforsaken camp much longer. It makes me sick to even think about it. We have to find a way to escape the refugee camp at any cost. Raban, I know the situation right now is bleak, and you've been through a lot. But there are brighter times ahead. We might be here for a while, you're right. But we can try and make the best of it. I mean, it's not like people here are completely cruel. I'm sure we'll be allowed to leave the camp someday and live a normal life again. As for Karen, well, if you're not interested, mind if I take a shot? Maybe I just need to prove to her I'm not a child. I sometimes wish I could share your naive optimism, brother. Alright, so there we go. He intended to escape the refugee camp at any cost, including marrying Karen. Getting out at any cost. Does the fact that Raban was able to leave the camp through marrying Karen scream sham marriage for you? Well, soon it might do just for that, for everyone else too. Oh! We now possess one narrative we could potentially spread. However, we can only hit Raban after he's published his next article. We'll need to bide our time for the moment. Use that time well to dig for more narratives. Get me everything that could be of use. Alright, so, okay, cool. So we don't have to upload this just yet. We can find a couple more things. Why don't we? Let's comb through it. I need to find something about Illya there as well. He successfully fled from military service in Parges, so that means that Illya was a member of the army. We can go to the maid website. There was a red star here, but I can't find anything new. I don't think I can find anything here. I can't upload like his name or anything, so... Why is there a red star? Is it because of this? Drafts will always fight back. I don't know when this is getting uploaded though. Span access. Not afraid of you. Nothing. There's that red star. It's bugging me now. What am I missing? Operation Flying Dog, Perco Leaks. I could still upload things in here, but I don't know what I would upload, and I'm probably too afraid to upload anything anyway. I'll probably get found as a suicide case with a shot to the back of my head. Karen fancies me, she doesn't like me one bit. I don't know, well... Was she ever in love with him, do you reckon? That's just... The conflict is from Raban's point of view, that she doesn't fancy him. He also says he also says that Karen doesn't fancy Illya either. I don't know. That's Illya. Okay, let's just... I mean, we know that she doesn't love him anymore. She's afraid of him. So how about we just chuck that in then? Where am I looking? It's in here. Yeah. Let's make our own narrative now, shall we? Their love is but a fake. How sad. Karen intended to observe Raban and doesn't really love him. Yes, there's a strong narrative in that. Okay. Raban Vhart just published his article. We can strike now. Remember, you're still able to dig for more narratives, so you may want to do that before you spread anything. As soon as you're ready, spread the narrative that seems most promising to you in the influencer. We only get one chance here. Okay, I've got two options. And he's published his article. Alright, here we go. Ooh. It's an interesting choice. We will always fight back. I will not let them destroy my family. My dear wife is and always will be on my side. In the dark caves of the endless information network they lurk, out to get any innocent victim standing in their way. As for now, I shall call them media monsters. The government apparatus designed to control our minds. These awful creatures, who cannot be considered human, are again trying to damage my family members in order to get to me. They claim that I am the tyrant to my family, though this affair did shake me to the core, which probably made the media monsters very happy. My wife and I are still on good terms. We will continue to stand by each other, as we always have, no matter how difficult the situation. And the same accounts for my brother. They cannot tear us apart. My family members will remain loyal to me, as they have always been. Okay. So I've got two choices. Raban did a fake marriage to escape from the refugee camp by seducing their therapist. Or Karen admits she married Raban because I wanted to observe him. He was very unstable. Oh God. Both horrible. Which one would be most effective? I wonder. What do we know right now? Karen has just had enough of Raban. Illya made her feel needed, truly wanted, so I'm guessing that she did love him something, but how long ago now? Typical Raban flies off the handle and won't even listen to my side of the story. Alright, sorry, it goes down, up. You wouldn't listen to me, you don't need anyone, you only need yourself. So yeah, I'm guessing that at one point, she might have liked him. But I do love the fact that he married her just to get out of the camp. Final choice. Man, this is probably where people's playthroughs are going to get different. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. He married her just to get out of the camp. He didn't really love her. Here we go. Spreading. Oh, once I click the spread button. Go. Here we go. Might as well get my lunch. It's 12:10 and it's spreading. Oh God. I'm nervous. I don't know if there were any other narratives probably to do with Illya. I couldn't find anything. We're getting new things on the reader. Probably the blabber. There we go. It's an hour. Happy with what you have achieved? Attacking Vhart's marriage was a good idea. Very personal. I believe many of his followers took this to heart. Raban has taken a blow, but he's not going down yet. Speaking of which, let's check on what he's up to writing. Oh, he's losing listeners fast. Okay, what happened? Oh, he's writing another draft. Karen's timeline. Oh, God. This is while I went out to get a sandwich. People's reaction to hashtag fake marriage. Be lever. At People's Voice, your hashtag fake marriage shows you are a complete fraud, especially since you claim that you plan to return to your home country anyway. This should be illegal. At Total Believer, it is illegal. Neither my wife or I married for any other reason than it's none of your fucking business, so back off, you fascist asshole. God, he's getting unhinged. We're trolling him so hard. At Berta Kovo, the uprising against the government of Parges has begun. The angry crowd in front of the presidential palace in Triflith is growing. Raban is the one to thank for this, and hashtag fake marriage is a fabricated story distracting you from the truth. We are going to win this media war. Get fucked, Berta Kovo. Liam Love. Ha, I knew it. Fucking immigrants setting up a hashtag fake marriage in order to get into the country. Go back to your own goddamn country and stop annoying us with your pathetic blog. My wife would never consider herself one of your women. Losers like you make me vomit. Dimka Falak. Raban, is it true that you did not marry out of love? Does that mean you might be single again soon? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's our Russian bots. Or the nation bots. Let's see Karen's timeline. What's changed here? Oh, her mum. Karen, my daughter. We had our differences about your marriage with Raban for his refugee status. Only now, with the recent news, could I realize that this guy must have forced you into a sham marriage. Please know that in case you need any assistance with your situation, I'm always around for you. I don't mind that you broke all contact with me. Get back to me. This refugee is the worst thing that can ever happen to you. Oh my god, forced into marriage? Karen, is that true? Are you really that shameless that you would exploit some nonsense gossip about your daughter on the web to reinforce your own political fear-mongering? This is preposterous, ending a sham marriage like that. For money? I know Raban, he's a good man and wouldn't force her into anything. Oh boy. Now we're ruining Karen's life. Family members, home, nothing new here, I think. It's just the draft. Where's the draft? Here it is. The big conspiracy. The media trying to distract you from the truth. Blaine and Cassard are conspiring against us. Why is the focus of attention not on one of the most pressing and obvious issues? It's not curious that during a national crisis like this, while Bonton is threatened by terrorists, the Prime Minister is leaving the country? Is it not weird that he's meeting Cassard, who's throwing him a military parade party, supposedly due to a negotiation meeting? The answer is, this is bullshit. Negotiation is not what the national government wants. They want power. This is what you should really be worried about, you mindless idiots. Man, he's very close to his base, isn't he? Claims Prime Minister Blaine and President Cassard are conspiring against the Pargesian people. Let's chuck that in. This is his next objective. Falling back into old habits, are we? Vhart is trying to shift the attention to Blaine and Cassard's meeting. It's a one-of-a-kind opportunity for him to back up his conspiracy theory. Reports say there are already people gathering in front of the presidential palace, where the two are meeting, attempting to stall the talks in the name of the People's Voice. We cannot let this claim go unchecked, or the situation there might escalate. Not on our watch. If he's into conspiracies and hidden agendas, how about us playing the same game? I'm certain you can get me enough information to let me construct our own little conspiracy theory. Keep in mind, we have to hit Raban Vhart hard this time. Very hard. We must break his follower base. How hard is hard? Do we need to go below 150? Prime Minister Blaine and President Cassard are meeting to conspire against the Pargesian people. Let's counter that. Karen's timeline updated again. Oh, there we go. Do we have time to investigate her mum? Who's this? What's going on? I don't know if we do. Anything in the listener? Perhaps? Nope. Insider? Can't quite find anything straight off the bat. What Karen's mum has to do with anything is something else entirely. He hasn't deleted all the editors yet. War is inevitable? Nope, nothing in there. Media monsters against us, nothing in there. What's new on this page? People's voice saying out loud what needs to be said. Okay, back to Karen's timeline. Karen, my daughter. Create a new profile for Elizabeth Levine. Let's do that. So she is the daughter of Elizabeth Levine. Against this backdrop, it's quite remarkable Karen professionally counsels refugees. E-ticket wallet. He's got a one-way ticket. Because Karen's not going with him. Oh, well, she didn't respond, I guess. Okay, nothing there. Is that it? Maybe this is where Illya's military service comes in handy. I mean, this is probably for the previous narrative, but let's just chuck this in anyway. Illya's making a run for it seems. Who can blame him? Why, we could, of course. Maybe he'd consider staying if the news would turn out to be against his liking. Email. Oof. Oleg Bakay finally coming in. He is still alive. Subject, I have to disappoint you. Raban. I'm not quite as dead as you had planned. Not yet. I may be soon, but for now I've found a way to at least write this email. I didn't expect you to sink so low as to work with the office. That's why I couldn't figure it out back then. But the recent days have opened my eyes. The arrest, all those interrogations they put me through. You're with them. It's the only way you may have obtained internal info on me and created that leak. Yes, I've been working with them as well. But tell me, what choice did I have after they arrested me, tortured me, forced me to become this? Now the office wants to get rid of me. Else they wouldn't have sent me to that godforsaken shelter. And in your blind rage you became their tool. Because of what? Because did you really think me behind what happened to Prava Secondary? My unit was being targeted by someone unknown, that was all. For God's sake, Radka died in that bombing, you fool! Why in all hell would I kill my own daughter? Fuck you, Raban, and your empire of lies. From the bottom of my heart. We'll both meet each other in hell for the mistakes we made. As soon as the office is done with you too. Oleg. Ooh. Scandalous. Oleg claiming that, Raban working for the office. What? Okay, so we got a couple of data chunks here. Raban Vhart cooperating with the office. Really? We've got no evidence of that, and why would he be going against us with all these blog posts if he was against us, you know? This new thing on Elizabeth Levine here. So Elizabeth Levine, Karen's mother. She's the mayor of something, I guess. Okay, let's go through. Let's meet Elizabeth first. Meet Elizabeth. It's time for change. Family is the foundation for everything. Elizabeth Levine, mother, lawyer, philanthropist. Elizabeth was born and grew up in Hillbury. Her family has been living in this beautiful town for many generations, giving her an expertise and personal insight on local issues that few can compare. Elizabeth spent some time outside Hillbury while studying law in Bonton from 1975 to 1981. She graduated with honors and soon after ABD decided to move back to her beloved hometown. Elizabeth then started doing community work for Hillbury, which she is still involved with to date. She volunteered and was very active in the National Cancer Society, raising funds and helping cancer survivors in an extraordinarily devoted way. Instead of going into corporate law like most lawyers, she dedicated herself to public service and worked as a prosecutor for Hillbury City Council. Her passion for law and order is ongoing. As a devoted family person, Elizabeth has 2 children. Her daughter, Karen Levine, who is very successful as a psychological counselor in Bonton, and her son Maxwell Levine, who is a well-known lawyer in Hillbury. Cool. That is Elizabeth. What does she stand for? Issues. Our children are the future. Tradition and culture. Our culture must be preserved. We believe that this is only possible if we keep immigration and other potentially disrupting factors to a minimum and spare our children as well as our community from threats like these. We therefore believe it is important to close the Pargesian border to prevent any further immigration. Supporting families. The traditional family as a unit is one of the most meaningful constructions of our society, and it is tremendously important to preserve and protect it in any way possible. Elizabeth Levine stands for this in particular and holds this value very dearly, especially being a mother herself. It goes without saying that same-sex marriage is unnatural and should be forbidden by law. We also believe that so-called Planned Parenthood is child murder and should be treated as such. Let's fight together to stop this lunacy. Education. Education is one of the most important factors for development of society as a whole. We support schools, teachers, and innovative ways of education, such as homeschooling and alternative schools. It's very conservative. Small businesses. Medium and small businesses are the heart of Hilberry and the backbone of our economy. We work very hard to support our local businesses by offering funding opportunities and real estate for rent, especially for local businesses and shops. And for news, we will never stop standing up for our values. Although Elizabeth sadly was not get elected as mayor, she won't stop to promote and uphold the values that we all hold dear. It is not yet clear whether Elizabeth will be involved in Hilberry politics in other ways, but one thing is certain: we will stay loud and proud and stand up for what we stated on this campaign website. So she didn't get elected. I'm not quite sure when the election happened. Exclusive interview with Elizabeth Levine. The National Beholder, the nation's most important newspaper, held an exclusive interview with mayor candidate Elizabeth Levine. In it, Mrs. Levine emphasizes once again the importance of traditional values. Read the full interview with the Beholder's Jeffrey Paxton here. I can click on that. Elizabeth Levine endorsed by Catherine Delacroix, the Secretary of Security. We are proud to announce that our campaign has been endorsed by Secretary of Security Catherine Delacroix. In a statement, Delacroix said, "My parents were from Hilberry, and it's the city I grew up in. They would appreciate Elizabeth Levine's work very much in the values for which she stands." Delacroix further announced she will support Elizabeth's campaign with funding and marketing. The party stands by the Levine family. We are particularly proud of Maxwell Levine's efforts as a lawyer in Hilberry, as well as Karen Levine's great endeavours as a psychological counsellor. The party supports Karen Levine's work directly via state funding. Elizabeth, her husband Mike, and her two beautiful children are a true treasure for this town and the whole nation, added Delacroix. Elizabeth Levine ran for mayor this fall. Born and raised in Hilberry and only having lived abroad for a few years studying, Elizabeth Levine knows every nook and cranny of our beautiful town. She was always one of the most valuable parts of our community and is now aiming to make it truly great again. Make it great again. The decline of our locals of small businesses and traditional values has to end, Levine stated in Monday morning's Hilberry Public Radio News. We're looking forward to an exciting election campaign. It's time for a change. So, Karen's work was funded by the party, or the nation. Well, the party is in control of the nation, so it's the same thing. Interesting. So she's getting funding. We don't know if she is still in contact with her mother. We know that Karen has a brother. I don't know how this is helping our narrative, but let's just go through this anyway. Seems that investigator you're paired with got the Bonton bombing's perpetrator. I'm impressed. He's a good dude. He is a very good dude. Oh, wait. Never mind. That's right, we got Nita killed last time. Bonton Police Department announces new prime suspect in the Bonton bombings case to have been shot while attempting to escape arrest. The main suspect in the Bonton bombings case was shot by the police as Nina, who Karen was counselling. After investigators uncovered strongly incriminating evidence, the new prime suspect in the Bonton bombings case was meant to be put into custody on late Saturday evening. The intervention team reported that the suspect, a female army veteran, produced a firearm as the police attempted to arrest her. After the woman shot a policeman, who remains in hospital, the police returned the fire, wounding the suspect fatally. First reports, exclusively available to the National Beholder, state that she is a National Army veteran who had been dishonorably discharged. Further information on the alleged perpetrator and the circumstances of her death will be released as soon as possible. Anyway, that's right, there was a link here, the exclusive interview. Jeffrey Paxton interviews Elizabeth Levine, who is currently running for mayor in Hilberry, the city typically seen as an indicator for the trends of the next nationwide elections. National Beholder, Mrs. Levine, you announced your independent candidacy for mayor of Hilberry a few weeks ago. What prompted you to run for office? It's been my heartfelt wish to make Hilberry a great place again. As it stands, Hilberry is one of the wealthiest communities in all of the nation, with one of the highest happiness ratings. Oh, it is. What exactly are you going to improve then? Well, of course, if you just look at the raw numbers of average income and such, sure, Hilberry appears wealthy. But, truth be told, Geoffrey, beneath the bright and shiny appearance is a deeply troubled and suffering city. So, what is it suffering from? Well, we have imported a crisis due to the policies of the previous government. When the nation allowed a huge influx of immigrants from Parges and other countries, Hilberry was a popular place for relocation. The party has since limited immigration nationwide, a great effort, I must say. But this doesn't cut it for Hilberry. We are citizens of the most iconic city in the nation's borders. We are a symbol of the nation's values, values that these immigrants don't respect. Our citizens don't feel secure in their own town anymore, so it is our job to defend these values. What do you plan on doing exactly? What can we expect from Mayor Levine? I will make sure this beautiful town stays absolutely safe. All the encampments in and around Hilberry will be abolished and cleared out. with the residents sent back to their countries where they belong. I will uphold the laws and rules that have made Hillberry great in the past. I will lower taxes and see to it that companies in Hillberry truly thrive. Well, it is very obvious that your campaign is primarily based on a hard line against immigrants. In that light, don't you think it's a bit peculiar that your own daughter is working as a professional counselor for those refugees you are trying to send back? My daughter Karen is a kind-hearted person who assists all different kinds of people with any kind of psychological problems from all over the world. Yes, there may be refugees among them, sure, because my daughter doesn't discriminate. In any case, you can rest assured that my daughter Karen stands firmly behind me, as does my whole family. But not only does your daughter specialize in refugee counseling, but she's also engaged to one. None other than Raban Vhart, who is the author of a blog that is highly critical of the government. For sure, you must be aware of that. These are nothing but vile rumors, pitiful lies, I assure you, simply made up to question my credibility, most likely by the very same person you just called out. You said it yourself. Raban Vhart is critical of the nation and its government, and he won't stop at any falsehood. Did you know this impertinent person invited soldiers into a school? Into a school! Which then was attacked because of his actions. I bet this is news to you, Jeffrey. Yes, I've done my research. Have you done yours? My daughter is doing no such thing as marrying him. No such thing! Thanks for the interview, Mrs. Levine. Well, clearly you don't know your daughter as well as you think. Okay, so she's saying that he sheltered the Pargesian army in the school and led them to their deaths. So maybe he used to work with the office? This is where Oleg's email has come in. Didn't expect you to sink so low as to work with the office. How did he find that out? And he's talking about back then. You know what, them, it's the only way you may have obtained internal info on me and created that leak. Else they wouldn't have sent me into that godforsaken shelter. So the office sent him into that shelter to hide. I missed out on that text. Someone commented. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm just going to have to make do with what I've got right now. And your blind ranger became that tool because of what? Do you really think me behind what happened to Bravo Secondary? My unit was being targeted by someone unknown. Radka died in the bombing. Of course he wouldn't have targeted his own daughter. Okay, this is where we need to start coming up with a narrative here. What happened all those years ago? And did Raban provide it? That's something we could get him for. Know that I stand with you. From David Johns, we still don't know who he is.
Raban, I could not help but notice you seem under a lot of fire from all sides most recently. Even some of your most trusted followers are turning their backs on you. But not me. You've been through some dark times before, as you have trusted me with. Remember how you told me that Illya got your parents Anastasia and Milivan in deep trouble and you saw no way out? And here you stand nonetheless, because you have pulled through. I'll see what I can uncover to aid you. You will hear back from me soon, David.
Okay, so their parents. What happened to their parents? Maybe we can find something there. Related document. And what kind of trouble? Yeah, give me a moment. Initiative Save Parges. We stand up and resist. We are the Pargesian people. Our government is corrupt. The Kasat regime was never interested in protecting the freedom of the Pargesian people. More and more opponents of our government have been arrested and we have to stop watching and start acting. The Pargesian people will no longer sit and watch their country being taken away from them. We have to start resistance against Demjan Kasat and his authoritarian administration. Sorry. I'm fumbling a lot on my words today. I'm sorry. Coming down with a cold, I think. Message board. Since the government has recently been actively trying to silence supporters of the initiative, Save Parges, and try to draw connections between us and violent crimes, we've switched to a closed message board that only members with special login data can view. Please contact Anastasia Vhart if you would like to receive message to our messaging board. Welcome Captain Illya Janeway. Please enter your password here. My password? Haha! We're in, so that's what that means. What else have we got? Just new headlines? No. Okay, we're in. Wait, let's slow down, What are we doing here? So this is... I was on the main website. I didn't actually see the news. Let's actually read through the news. Let's start at the beginning. In our first meeting, we decided to arrange a peaceful protest march against the newly installed President Dimjan Kasart, 13 years ago. He is not our president and was not elected democratically. We demand new elections. Please join us on February 15, 2004 in Triflith. Starting point will be the King Myron statue, and we'll march down Triflith Avenue up to Lake Pontemkin. April 29, 2005, there have been many internal discussions lately about how to handle future protests and what alternative means we have to voice our dissatisfaction with the current government and their actions. We'd like to emphasize that the initiative Save Parges is and will remain peaceful. Some of you are very discontent with how we've been handling protests and say that collecting signatures is not enough to fight a corrupt regime. It typically never is. We do not want to get involved in illegal activities and believe that our voices are our strongest weapons. Update May 16, 2005. Unfortunately, we've lost many members to the newly formed Forces of True Parges, FTP. We've been increasingly criticizing our way of resistance against Kasart and his regime. We ask you to bear with us and please do not let such quarrels tear us apart. We are only strong if we stick together and act as a group, and will not be able to cause true damage, or true change, if we let our differences divide us. We are all Pargesians, and we all have the same goals. Let us remain peaceful, bold, and strong. And this is the last news update, I guess. Since the forces of True Parges have been getting more and more violent and inciting unrest and bloody protests, we'd like to address them personally in an open letter. Dear members of the FTP, we are all Pargesians. We all love Parges. We all want change and freedom for our country and citizens. We have the same goals and the same dreams, so why are we fighting? Kasart and the corrupt government are laughing up their sleeves at us, not being able to form a stable resistance against them. Please let us stand together. Please let us stand as together in unity and resist the government peacefully. Okay, such a strange sentence. We organized a new collection of signatures from the Pargesian people in order to request a new referendum against our current government administration. For the pen is mightier than the sword, and violent wars will only be left with losers on both sides. We urge you to stand beside us, not against us. Okay, messages, 2010, family communication. When did they get in trouble? Doesn't quite tell me. But David Johns has been a long time friend of Raban Vhart. Thread family communication only visible for the following members: Raban Vhart, Anastasia Vhart, Raban Vhart, and Captain Illya Janeway. Dear family, your father and I decided to use this digital message board for our family communication since we do not believe our telephone is safe anymore. More and more members of our community have been disappearing recently. We need to be as cautious as possible. Please use the message board as a primary channel from now on, especially if you mention other family members or places where we meet. This is an old abandoned board of an initiative we took part in some time ago. It should be secure and unknown to authorities. Captain Illya Janeway. Holy moly, I didn't expect that, Mum. You two were revolutionaries? You never mentioned a thing. It's quite bad, yeah, but do you think it's necessary to be this cautious? Please, Illya. This is a peaceful resistance movement, not that revolutionary. Your father thinks it's safer to communicate here, as they might wiretap our phone. What is up with that stupid pseudonym of yours, by the way? Is that the one you use on those chat rooms all day? It's called a chat room, Mother. Please, just do us a favor and stick to this message board, Illya. And for God's sake, please pick a secure password you can remember. Raban, we would like to invite you over for Uncle Simo's birthday next week. It'd be great if you could join us. Very well. I'll join you in the evening after rugby. By the way, Uncle Simos wanted to invite Oleg Bakay just because his family lives next door. Doesn't mean we have to show hospitality to followers of the Kasart regime. It's too much of a risk. You're right, honey. We cannot afford to be careless here. I'll talk Simos out of it. Mum, Dad, Oleg is a good man. The world is not simply black and white. He may be a soldier in the army, but he wouldn't endanger us. I think you should come. It's a shame Kasart has managed to drive a wedge between people in our community. Sorry, son. I just don't think it's a good idea. Especially not putting him next to my elderly brother who talks very bluntly about hating Kasart and his followers. Bakay has always been overly patriotic. The police are already beginning these Gestapo-style investigations and it's scaring the hell out of me. But maybe you're right. Maybe we should give him a chance. Alright, so Oleg, family friend, lived next door to Oleg Bakay. Was the Vharts. And Bakay lived next to them. Interesting, okay. Let's chuck that in. That's how they're connected. Seems they were once literally closer than we thought. Yep. Parents were revolutionaries, supposedly, but that's just what he's saying. He might have blown that up a little bit. A thread, I don't want to join the stupid war, a couple months later. Only visible to the Vhart family. I just got a note telling me to report for duty by next week. I was drafted. They're coming to take me in. if I don't report in? What am I going to do? I don't want to join this goddamn war in this horrible army. Please don't panic, Illya. We're going to take care of this. There must be something we can do. Raban, you know Orwell Bakay well. Is there a chance you can talk to him about this? I heard he's in charge of the unit stationed here. Can he help get Illya out of this? I will see what I can do. Try not to worry too much, Illya. I'm going to talk to Oleg and get you exempted from service. It might cost me a few favors and take some time, but I will get you out, I promise. He's a reasonable man, but first, I need you to go report in anyway. Don't give them a reason to arrest you. That will only make things much harder. Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, so Illya was drafted. Hopefully we get access to that. Yep, there we go. The army of Parges forcefully recruited a lot of men into their ranks when the conflict with the FTP erupted anew. Seems Illya has been no exception to it. Here he is. Orwell Vhart, Private. 1st Infantry Division Prava. Drafted for service 2010. Shortened basic training completed 2010. Attempted to flee from service. Punished. And discharged by local command. Failed in his attempt to escape military service, followed by punishment. Conflicts with that. Here he successfully fled from military service in Parges. Well, he especially emphasizes heroic escape. That's not true. Something tells me he blew that up a bit, just for his ego. We'll go with this one. He got punished. This is official record. He got punished. Do we have any idea what that punishment may have involved? I don't know, but we've got a lot of juicy information here. Let's keep digging.